So it's very interesting that when we think of ourselves in common sense, our ordinary way of conceiving the world around us and ourselves and our own bodies, we think of perceiving the world with our senses, and we think that we've got 5 senses. But why 5? I'm still puzzled as to why we think there are 5. I mean, they're very easy to reel off. You know, there's seeing, there's hearing, there's touching, there's smelling, there's tasting. And yet we have clearly way more senses than that. I mean, we have a sense of balance. So I think something is happening that's leading to the fractionation of the senses. We tend to think of touch as a single sense, but of course we feel pain, we feel temperature, we feel pressure, we feel the pleasure of being stroked. We have kinesthesis when spicy foods or chemicals give us a stinging, burning, cooling sensation. All of that is in touch, and yet they seem to be very different systems. So you get the breaking down or fractionation of the senses, but we also see there are other senses that we've added that somehow have been overlooked. And the senses interact with each other. They don't work in isolation. So for example, the way in which we think, well, it's very clear I'm just seeing as opposed to hearing or smelling, it's not always revealed to you how much other senses are contributing to what you call seeing. The next time you're on an aircraft and you get strapped in before a flight, look along the aircraft, see where you are, see where everyone is, and you will see the stewards telling you, you know, there are exit doors at the rear and 2 over the wing and so on. Okay, you see your relation to things in the cabin. Now look at the cabin again when you're in the climb and the plane is sort of reaching its cruising height of 30,000 feet. As you're in the climb, it will now look to you as though the front of the cabin is higher than you are. It will look that way. But you're in exactly the same visual relation and contact to the cabin as you were on the ground. So how can it look as though the cabin is higher? And what's really happening, of course, is that the ear canals, the vestibular system, are telling you you're tilting backwards. And as you're tilting backwards, the vestibular system is influencing your visual system to give you the perception as of looking upwards. This is a way in which you don't necessarily notice, but the senses are working with each other, and even vision can be slightly modified by one of your other senses here, your sense of balance.